Om Amarteshwari Namaha. So it's another rainy day. It looks like we're in monsoon season now, and I thought this would be a really good chance to do some breakdown work on some of our workout videos. So yesterday was the rainy day, and we filmed the Just Move series 1 and 2, and I worked out really hard actually. It was a total of 3 hours, and today I need to rest. It's good to rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an abdominal workout, and we're going to break it down really slowly because hopefully you can use it for yourselves for the future if we do a group all-together thing. So it's really important to understand that what's out there on YouTube and the world of fitness is a lot of different messages. So a lot of people are going to say, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. Do this if you want sculpted abs, and do that. And then you listen to physiotherapists who are giving also different instructions. One of them is, okay, so if you have a bulging spine, you want to make sure that you have the arch of your back nice and strong. You want to maintain that arch when you're lying down, when you're moving, etc. And then you go to Pilates, where you're sucking your belly in until your spine is flat against the floor. And Pilates is also a very effective physiotherapy, muscle building, strength building workout. So it's really hard to kind of put it all together and to know who's saying what's right and who's saying what's wrong. And so when we look to the body, the natural state of the body, we see when we study anatomy, physiology, and the adaptability of the body, we understand that the body is designed by God to do all of it, actually. All of these exercises that people say are the right one, the wrong one, the best one, the wrong one, they all actually have a place. They all have a result which is actually beneficial. It's just about understanding what function the body is happiest doing with that particular exercise. So there's a purpose to a strongly formed lumbar curve. There's a purpose to a tilted pelvic, strong abdominal six-pack. One important thing for you, if you do plan on studying on your own, is to understand that a lot of the videos out there are about sculpting for a visual effect. And one thing you're going to notice is that a lot of people who have these perfectly visually sculpted six-pack abs are quite compacted in their front body. And you'll notice they start walking like this. The reason that is because in order to contract the abdominal muscles, which start at the pubis and end here in your nice sternum that we do these lifting, is you have to contract them together, right? And this is great, and then at the same time they're doing these back exercises to counterbalance that pull. And what does happen is over time I've noticed they've become very much like this. And this actually over time creates a lot of strain, a natural difficulty for some of the composites in our necks and things. And then if we study yoga, and we look at the abdominal strengthening work, the stabilizing of the trunk or the core, we see a lot of front back balancing. And there are in Hatha Yoga these motions where your tail is dropped and your front trunk is lifted or compressed. And at the same time, there's a counterbalance for the lumbar spine curve. So same thing if you look into martial arts, or if you look into, my favorite example is actually belly dancing, Arabian dancing. And the reason is because it was very specially designed for women that want to produce a healthy, reproductive hip, rib strength for carrying the children and having a happy, healthy life. I don't feel very poetic in my words today, so please forgive me if I'm not sounding very smart. I haven't really woken up yet. The result is that when we really look at the body, we know that the body is capable of all kinds of adaptations, and that the reason the body is so flexible inherently and can move in so many different directions is because it's meant to. It's meant to move in these different ways because those different ways are necessary depending on the job or the circumstance. So we just want to know what the body does, how to safely, strong, with strength, and flexibility, adaptability, mobility, being able to change and adapt our body to the circumstance and have the strength necessary for that circumstance. So this is a micro strength exercise. We're going to go all through the trunk and the torso, and we're going to go through the many different aspects or features to take into account when we are relying on the trunk of the body. And the trunk of the body really, really has to do with the balance between the thoracic and the bottom, the pelvic, the lumbar. Where see is the spine, it has this curve here, and then it again curves out, just like here. And when you look at a really well-balanced spine, you'll see that the thoracic is at the same level as the sacral, and the curve of the lumbar is a very nice balance. Let me see if I can get you a nice example. And the other thing is that everybody has a different degree of curve in their spine. There's no right way, wrong way. It's really a journey of self-discovery. You have to find this relationship between what you pull up here and what's pushing in there. Right? It's a balance between strength. If you pull up too strong here, these muscles have to work extra strong to go like that, and you can really pull your back out. Same thing, if you're too sway back here and you're just letting your pooch fall out, you create another danger for your spine. It's very interesting that there's no bones here. It's because we really need to be able to expand both for breath and for childbearing. So that there's all this capacity to expand. And we need to take that into account. So actually, if we have too many rigid abdominal muscles, that inhibits our ability to expand actually. Now, in order for spine to flex, these muscles are necessary. So we want to be able to round, but we want to be able to straighten, and then we don't want to be pulling too far in any one direction. We want a nice, balanced strength distribution. And that's where all these stabilizing trunk workouts come in. That's why plank is so useful. Plank is stabilizing. So plank really works on the front and the back at the same time. And a lot of these mobile, active, stabilizing exercises, even just lifting, you are using so much of this front-back support. You're really rooting into your core. In some ways, I could even say doing a floor routine exercises for your abdomen is not always necessary. If you do enough lifting, if you do enough strengthening with your lower body and these lunges and squats that we're doing, you are getting a very beautiful and balanced strength building to both your back and your front. So why do we then do these crunches and abdominal things? Well, quite frankly, vanity, because it looks nice, right? I've had a baby, so I'm very aware of all this loose skin and things, and so I want to work it out and get it smaller, but it just doesn't work like that actually. Belly fat is a metabolic issue. It has nothing to do with the exercise. So the exercise is there to keep us strong and balanced. I notice that as I go into more minute, subtle, focused work on my trunk, all the other aspects of my feeling of health and well-being improve. I can lift better, I'm a bit more flexible, and I can move faster in life. I have a better capacity to sustain activity throughout the day because I have more awareness of my trunk, and I find that it's easier to do more repetitions either in my upper body or my lower body. So I do like once a week spend some time giving the trunk the attention. It also helps me to remember how to properly balance lifting my sternum while allowing the natural curve of my lumbar to be there, not pinching it closed or sticking it out or exaggerating it too far. So this relationship with the core, the trunk, I think is very beneficial for all of us to be aware of. Probably once a week would be enough for you to do something like this. In my humble understanding of what our bodies are, it's that they are really vehicles. They're like cars that our souls are driving in, and that need to do a bunch of different stuff in this life in order to sustain the longevity of activities and karma burning and karma serving and etc. And as spiritual aspirants, we don't want to waste a lot of time feeling like we have to recover because we want to go forward. And I think that this understanding of using the body in all directions and ways, but having the right awareness of what mechanics are involved in that particular action. And I think that's really the synopsis of what we're doing here with an Amma-centered or focused fitness regime, is that we are practicing placing awareness into all of our strength and endurance building, all of our mobility exercises to enhance all the things that Amma will have us doing in service or life, and give us the proper understanding of how to really use it safely and intelligently. This body, that's the it I'm talking about. So this is just a little introduction about what we're doing, and we're going to go real slow. We're going to go into various number of exercises. So Om Namah Shivaya. I hope this is really helpful for you, and we're also going to be addressing some common problems like sciatica and hip misplacement, because it all kind of goes together, the spine and how it aligns, okay? This could also be really looked at as a spinal workout. All right. Jai Ma, Om Anarteshwarye Namah. Instructional introduction over.